All right, so we're going to continue with the ANC's 113th birthday celebrations that are underway in Khayelitsha. Perhaps before we get to that, just some breaking news on your screen. As you can see, news coming through at this hour, 6 people have been killed in Mpumalanga in a tavern shooting. At this point, information that has trickled in as our reporter Lulalama Matya makes his way to the scene. 6 others are still in hospital, are hospitalized following that shootout. So again, 6 people killed in Mpumalanga tavern shooting. 6 others are in hospital following that shootout. We'll continue to bring you more news and updates, perhaps as we get more information about that. But as we move now to one of our top stories that we're following today, crossing to our reporter Lulalama Matya for an update on what is happening in Khayelitsha this morning. Lulalama, good morning. So it seems all systems go, a state of readiness ahead of the celebrations that are taking place at the Nelson Mandela Stadium in Khayelitsha. Great expectations, perhaps also because we're looking at how different it's going to be compared to last year's January 8th statement. What are some of those expectations ahead of the official statement to be launched by the President later today?
Welcome to Cape Town in Khayelitsha, Nelson Mandela Park Stadium, Lizel and SABC viewers. Yes, it's a big day for the ANC 113th anniversary. And a century and a couple of years above does not come easy. But to talk to us more about today's celebrations, I am joined by Febe Potgieter-Gqubule. She's the ANC Head of Policy and Research. Welcome to the SABC, ma'am.
Thank you very much and good morning. And we're really glad to be in Western Cape and Khayelitsha.
It's a great day for the ANC.
It is indeed 113 years, as you say, as a long journey. And the 113 has also been with its ups and downs, and we're certainly experiencing one of those downs. And what the January 8th statement will have to do is to reflect on where we are, the country is at, and to then chart the task for members of the ANC for the year.
As the head of research and policy, the research, what is it saying? What caused the decline in support of the party?
There are, in the main, 3 categories of issues. The first one is economic. So unemployment has reached crisis point, particularly youth unemployment, but also women and people, working age people. So that's the first one, economic, the lack of economic inclusion and the growing inequality. And unemployment. So the second issue is governance and basic services. So if you recall, at the start of the election campaign, we just came out of a long era of load shedding, but also challenges of water, sanitation, and the aftermath of state capture. So people were not satisfied with how we governed. And then despite the progress and advances that were made over the 30 years, what they said is that we need to do better. And then the third area has got to do with the party brand, the ANC brand. That there's a perception that the ANC has been affected by corruption and state capture, that it's distant from the people. And what the renewal agenda of the ANC is, and what the President certainly will be talking to today, is how do we tackle the economic issues, how do we address making sure that we fix local government, that we improve basic services, and then of course the ongoing journey of ANC renewal.
Besides those statements, those issues that the President is going to address today, are there any policy issues that the party needs maybe to tweak in to address the challenges that it is facing?
Well, I think the policy issues fall into 2 categories. The one is making sure that the manifesto that we campaigned on is implemented. And if one look at the manifesto, it says that after 30 years of democracy and very slow economic transformation, we need to focus on how do we industrialize. Because you can't just, yes, we need to expand tourism, we need to expand retail, but the way that you create quality jobs is in manufacturing, in mineral beneficiation. So we need to do more as a country. We've got critical minerals as South Africa that's needed all over the world. So how do we not just export them raw, but beneficiate? So it's not really a policy. We've already got the policies. It's a matter of implementing. The second issue is around youth unemployment. And there's a myriad of different schemes aimed at young people entrepreneurship, the young youth employment scheme, and so forth, National Youth Service. But what we want to do is to consolidate it into one active youth labour market program that will make an impact, and it's not just scattered all over the place. And then, of course, the questions about organisational renewals. We need to have a tough look at our processes, our systems. The NEC, towards the end of last year, strengthened the terms of reference of the Integrity Commission so that we much more decisive on corruption as being counter-revolutionary. It's anti-people, and we need to take a firm stance on it, whether it's in our ranks or whether it's outside.
You're talking about policies being there, but lack of implementation.
That's right.
Is there any talks about accountability where there's lack of implementation of those policies?
Absolutely. Part of the portfolio that I head in the ANC deals with monitoring and evaluation. So what we have adopted last year is the ANC has adopted a accountability framework. So our ministers, our MECs, our premiers, our NEC members, regional members all have to report every quarter with regards to whether they're implementing the manifesto and how far they come, and if there's challenges, to explain why. So we think that one of the things that's different is a much greater focus on accountability and monitoring, and to be able to say to comrades that if you were supposed to build 40 schools and you have only built one, why? And what are we going to do that, to be able to do that? So we certainly think that, yes, we have the policies, but what we need to focus on is holding people accountable.
Thank you very much for your time, ma'am.
Thank you.
Lizel, let's leave it at that when she is saying that there's going to be more accountability going forward so that their policies are properly implemented. With that, back to you at the studio.
Thanks, Lulalama. The clock is ticking as we edge closer, of course, to President Ramaphosa addressing those in attendance and perhaps those tuned in to hear what that January 8th statement is going to entail, really outlining the plans for the party for the year, perhaps also edging closer to the local government elections come 2026 and beyond. Let's leave it there for now. We'll continue after the break. We'll be right back after this. Stay tuned.